All right, so good morning and welcome to the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living, here and now. Yeah, here we are, here and now. And you've got a couple Ginas on the screen today. So first of all, I just want to say welcome to our love stream. And please, if you're watching this on Facebook, go ahead and start a watch party, share it with friends. There's going to be some amazing, wonderful inspiration through words, through music, through just the love of the love stream. And you can also share it if you're watching on Facebook, share it there. We have an amazing musician today. She's debuting with us, Miss Gina Salah, and she's coming to us from Seattle. So I am going to let her take it away. So go ahead, Gina.
Yay, glad to be here. Ma, the Mother Earth, that Ma that supports us all, Jai Jagadambe. Ma.
Gina, we're loving this music, but we're not hearing your voice.
Oh. Well, check.
There you go.
Sorry about that, a little technical.
Okay.
Well, friends, let's feel our ground. Let's feel this beautiful Ma Earth. And if you like, you can sing call and response with me. Jai Jagadambe, for this Ma Earth, for that life force that enlivens us today. Jai Jagadambe, Jai Jagadambe, Ma. Jai Jagadambe, Jai Jagadambe. Jai Jagadambe, Jai Jagadambe. Jai Jagadambe, Jai Jagadambe. Hey ma Kaya. Oh yes. Hey ma Gaya. Hey ma Gaya. Feeling that earth. Hey ma Gaya. Ma, J ma, J ma, J ma, J ma, ma, J ma, J ma, J ma, J ma. Feeling the beauty of the earth that we share, all that support we have in this 5-element world as we gather together from all over the shared planet. Jai Jagadambe, Jai Jagadambe. Jai Jagadambe, Jai Jagadambe. Jai Jagadambe, Jai Jagadambe. Jai Jagadambe, Jai Jagadambe. Ma, Jai ma, ma, Jai ma, ma, Jai ma, ma, Jai ma. And here's a fun trick if you like. As we gather, what if you put your hand on your heart and just feel the pleasure of your voice in the body? And one more round. Jai Jagadambe, Jai Jagadambe. Jai Jagadambe, Jai Jagadambe. Hey Mata Gaya, hey Mata Gaya. Hey Mata Gaya, hey Mata Gaya. Ma, Jai 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 Ma. Ma, Jai 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 Ma. 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 Om Shri Mata Devi Ki Jai.
Jay, all right. Oh, it's so great to have you here with us, Gina Salah. Woohoo! Hello, beloveds. Good morning. My name is Reverend Elizabeth Rowley, and I am the spiritual director and senior minister at the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living. And I would like to say welcome to the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living, where all that we ask is that you remain open to the possibility of changing your entire life by changing your mind. This service has been designed especially for you. Welcome home. We have an affirmation that I will read. It's going to be up on the screen here, and I invite you to please repeat after me. Today and every day, I use the power within me to experience the good that God is.
Today and every day, I use the power within me to experience the good that God is.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Woohoo! And friends, we'll now, between Travis and I, we're going to introduce our musician for the day. And it is Gina Salah. And her smile really lights up the world. And for those of you that are members of our center and have heard me share stories about India and my adventures there with kirtan and harmonium player, that was Gina Salah. And so she is here to bring some of that beautiful love into our hearts. And my prayer is that you enjoy it and feel that love and beauty that just emanates from her voice, her smile, her eyes, and so much more. And now I'll turn it over to Travis.
All right. Good morning, everybody. That's right. My name is Travis Hogue, and I am the music director here at the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living in Templeton, California, which is it's a beautiful morning, and it's my great honor to introduce our musical inspiration of this morning and this love stream. If you're watching now live on Facebook or on YouTube or watching on a replay, you're in for a treat. I'm going to read just a little bit from her illustrious bio, and then I'll let her take it away. So, Gina Salah has been chanting since her early childhood ashram years. Her repertoire spans 23 languages, and performance credits include Cirque du Soleil, the United Nations, festivals, and more. With warmth, humor, devotion, she helps people to experience the power of their voices to bring about unity, balance, and divine connection through retreats, online classes, private sessions in hypnotherapy, voice and sound healing. She also offers her online Awakening Voice Power of Love Sound School that helps people feel connected, peaceful, empowered, and whole through sound yoga, chant, energy work, community, and more. You can join her Mondays for chant, mantra, voice, and harmonium on Mondays, as well as other special offerings that you can find out by signing up at her website at ginasalah.com. And I will just end with this. Gina reminds us, because the one I love lives inside of you. Take that with you on this next musical journey. It is my great, great pleasure to introduce to our community the mighty Gina Salah.
And I just love that when we gather like this, we're reminded again to lay back in love. So my friends, feel free to sing along. It's like a bathtub song. Come in when you like. Lay back love. Lay back in the arms of love. Rest back in the arms. You are safe from harm. Rest back in the arms of love. Let's feel ourselves in a big circle. Lay back in the arms of love. Yes. Lay back in the arms of love. Rest back in the arms, darling. You are safe from harm. Rest back in the arms of love. One more time to whoever comes to heart. Lay back in the arms of love. Lay back in the arms of love. Rest back in the arms, honey. You are safe from harm right now. Rest back in the arms of love. And let these vibrations ripple out to all beings everywhere. Yes, this love that we can all rest in. And now let's sing the names of the lover and beloved, masculine and feminine in harmony and balance. Ram is the name that reminds us of our dharma, to stand nobly and brave, and Sita, that pure devotion. These names that open the heart of service, of Hanuman and love. Sita Ram, 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 Ram 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 Ram, Sita Ram. Hanuman, 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 Jai Hanuman, selfless service. Hanuman, 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 Jai Hanuman, power of love. Hanuman, Jai Hanuman, Hanuman, Jai Hanuman, Hanuman, Jai Hanuman, Hanuman, Jai Hanuman. Sitaram, 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 Ram Ram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Ram Ram, Sitaram, 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 Ram Ram, Sitaram. And may we feel the vibration of love surround us in every cell of our body, every level of consciousness, and may we rest back in the arms of love. Let's sing that one more time to all beings. Rest back in the arms of love. Darling, darling, include yourself. Rest back in the arms of love. And once more. Rest back in the arms of love.
Woo! Thank you, Gina Salah. Good morning, CSL. That's right, I'm back, but I have changed into my announcements angel garb. I will now read our announcements. This is the January 17th edition. I want to wish you all a happy new year. I will now read our mission statement. With everything we do, we aim to raise the vibe. We teach innovative spiritual practices and principles that inspire deeper love of self and others, transformation, a closer relationship with God, freedom from suffering, expansive joy, prosperity, and healing of the body, mind, and spirit. We are a conscious group of positive, inspired, spiritually motivated individuals transforming lives. We just happen to have a spiritual center. Want to check us out? Yeah! All right, we are now in the year of the 45th anniversary to our center's existence. Yes, our center was born on August 20th, 1976. And as we kick off our 45th year, we invite everyone watching to consider making a contribution of $45. I want to raise and praise those angels who have set up PayPal with monthly tithes of $45. We want to thank you, angels. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Next up, we have our coffee and conversation after service, which it'll be around 11 a.m.-ish Pacific time via Zoom for all of you that are watching on this love stream on January 17th. The link in the comment section here, you can also find it on our center's webpage in the Coffee and Conversation event. Hope to see you there. And I'm told that Gina will be joining us, Gina Salah, so that'll be fun. And also, speaking of Zoom, I invite you to join us for our spiritual community connection calls every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific time. These are open to everyone. It's not a closed Zoom call. So if you're seeing this for the first time and you want to check it out, you come and join us. You can find the link on our Facebook page under events. You can also ask me for the link and I'd be happy to provide it for you. We have a book study coming up, Me and White Supremacy Book Discussion Group, facilitated by the amazing Karen Robert, and that begins in February. Details coming soon. If you're interested in participating, please email us at info@ccccsl.org for details. Next Sunday, we are very blessed to have Amy Bishop making her debut with us as our musical inspiration. Woohoo, Amy Bishop! All right. Next up, e-news. If you want to know anything that's happening with our center, you'll definitely want to subscribe to our e-news to keep up with all these amazing events. By going to our website, ccccsl.org, choose e-news and follow the instructions there, or you can simply email us at info@ccccsl.org and we'll get you added. And lastly, I want to thank you for your ongoing donations to our center during this unique time. You know, our operations are fully supported by your generosity, and we're looking forward to gathering at our physical center in the future. You can donate here on Facebook Live with the donate button, or via PayPal at paypal.me/CCCSL love. You can also visit our landing page at ccccsl.org and click the donate link at the center of the page. We want to thank you for your consideration. We love you. We miss being with you, but we raise and praise this technology that allows us to gather in such a way at such a time as this. And with that, my beloveds, has been the announcements. Thank you for letting me be of service.
Thank you, Travis. And now I would like to take a moment to remind you that if there is something that is weighing heavy on your heart for which you would like prayer for, or maybe there's something you're looking to manifest in your life, you can send your prayer request to info@ccccsl.org, and our prayer team will pray over your prayer requests for the next week. And now I would love to turn it over to Charlie Carlin for our Science of Mind reading.
This month, we're looking at the initial chapters of the Science of Mind textbook, the thing itself in chapter 1, followed by the way it works And now in week 3, we explore what it does. Ernest Holmes in The Science of Mind states, "The universe is impersonal. It gives to all alike. It values each alike. Its nature is to impart, ours to receive. It is the nature of the universe to give us what we are able to take. The laws of the universe are to be trusted, but we must come to understand them before we can use them. Let's waste no further time in looking for the secret of success or the key to happiness. Already the door is open, and whosoever will may enter." So let us pause here for a moment and visualize that open door, knowing that there is one Spirit, one power, one God, and the door is open. Know that the Spirit is everywhere, all around us, at every point in us. We are one with the One, and as you may remember, there is no spot where God is not. And God being everywhere means we're always one with God. And God is always with us. And God is always with us. And God is always with us. I take this knowledge, this idea, this feeling into my everyday life and continue creating my perfect life at every moment, at every instant. This perfect life brings to me complete peace, incredible joy, deep love, and all the material that I can embody. It is my joy to embrace it all and to bring it with me everywhere I go. It is my joy to bring this to everyone I see or imagine and give it to the world. I can feel this throughout my entire being, throughout every fiber, every nerve, every muscle, and all the tendons of my body. Oh, how luscious. I am grateful and thankful for these delectable ideas, truths, and thoughts. Let the goodness flow. Let the joy radiate. Let the universe deliver as it always does, always has been, and always will be. This is the way it is, and so it is.
Wonderful, Charlie. Thank you so much for that beautiful reading. Okay, so let's just settle in our chairs or wherever we're at. Just take a deep breath and just let's let go of anything that is not serving us right here in this moment. And let's just connect with that heart space within where you connect with that divine source within you. And so I know that there is only one Spirit, one God, one universal life force that flows through all things, seen and unseen. It is in the trees as we watch the wind gently blow the leaves to and fro. It is in the waves in the ocean and the mist that sprays off that cap of the top of the wave as it curls over and gently rushes to the beach. And it is in the mammals that are swimming in our oceans. It is in the birds that is in the sky. It's all expressions of the Divine One. And so I know that we are united with this source. It is in, as, and through me, just as it is in, as, and through the production of this love stream that's coming to you right now. God is behind all of it. And so I know that this service is divinely guided. I know that Reverend Elizabeth's words that she speaks today touch us in some way maybe that we haven't realized before. For it is in the divine message of the downloads that she gets from Spirit that speak through us and to us, and we embody that. And as we are here, right now in this very moment, we awaken our presence. We awaken to the presence within us, enjoying this present moment of the divine message.
And so I know that as Gina continues to bring us these sacred songs, we get what we need from each lyric and each vibration of the harmonium that touches our soul in a way that maybe it hasn't before. And I know that the words that Charlie spoke are the divine words of the One. And so as we go through this service and this day, I invite each one of us to continue to discover and uncover and release anything that no longer serves us, to take stock in our present awareness and enjoy the gifts of God around us. The spiritual nature of where we live and the divine nature in all that we come into contact with. And just as we are divine expressions of love, compassion, wisdom, forgiveness, and grace, we see that in each individual we come into contact with. We see it in the eyes, in the smiles in the eyes behind the mask. And so just as we can uncover that truth which is in us, we can see that truth staring back at us. And we embrace that love, and we embrace the truth of who we are and the truth of each one of us, which is we are pure divine expressions of God. And so I'm just so grateful for what is unfolding in this Sunday love stream, and I'm just so grateful for Gina being here with us today to bring us her beautiful expression of music. And I am so grateful for Reverend Elizabeth and Charlie and Gina D producing this service, and Travis, the beautiful announcements angel. And we are just so divinely guided to be here today. And so knowing that this truth flows through us all, even when we leave here, I can just release this prayer into that loving expression of the law, knowing that Spirit has already got us. Spirit has our back, and Spirit's directing this service, and we just continue to let it flow. And with full gratitude, we can just claim together this truth by saying, and so it is.
And so it is.
Om Namah Shivaya. Well, what a beautiful prayer. And that consciousness that she so beautifully spoke about, BJ did, is sometimes known as Shiva. And I have a really fun memory with Elizabeth in India, a couple of them. One is, imagine being on the ancient sacred river Ganga, and all of a sudden the boatman is getting overwhelmed by the current because the waters are high. And all the pilgrims from all over India have arrived to do their ceremonies at the banks of the river, and the soap is in their eyes. They're also washing. And I could feel the boat about to careen into people, what to do, what to say to them. So we said this, and see if you can say it with me. Hara, hara. Everyone say that if you'd like. Stretch your arms up this morning. Hara, hara. And then Mahadev. Everyone, Mahadev. That's basically praise God. And in Varanasi, where we are, yes, Elizabeth, that's like how you say praise God in that particular city. There are so many ways. So here we are about to careen into people. But when we shouted, Hara Hara Mahadev, really more as a warning, rather than getting upset at us, the most beautiful response was people raising their hands back and sharing it right back at us as we sometimes began to move into their areas. Hara Hara Mahadev. So as we sing this chant today, it happened in train stations together, all kind of things. When we open into the vibration of praise God, Wow, the miracle of the heart's opening is always possible. So sing with me if you like, call and response, kirtan style. And if you get the words mixed up, it doesn't matter. Divine understands gibberish, and that's who's singing too. Hara Hara Mahadeva Shambho Bolo, Hara Hara Mahadeva Shambho, Kashi Vishwanath Gange, Kashi Vishwanath Gange. Good. Hara Hara Mahadeva Shambho, Hara Hara Mahadeva Shambho, Kashi Vishwanath Gange. This is the part where we move. Hara 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 Hara. Hara 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 Hara. Hara Hara Mahadeva Shambho, Hara Hara Mahadeva Shambho. Good. Hara Hara Mahadeva Shambho, Kashi Vishwanath Gange. Hara Hara Mahadeva Shambho, Kashi Vishwanath Gange. Hara 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 Mahadeva Shambho, 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 Mahadeva Shambho, Hara Hara Mahadeva Shambho, Kashi Vishwanath Gange. Hara Hara Mahadeva Shambho, Kashi Vishwanath Gange. With all beings around the world who praise the sweet divine in different ways, we'll say Hara Hara, Hara 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 Hara. Yes. Hara 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 Hara, Hara 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 Hara, Hara Hara Mahadeva Shambho, Hara Hara Mahadeva Shambho. Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Hara Hara Mahadeva Ki Jai.
Woohoo! Yes, Hara Hara Mahadev. Yeah, woohoo! Love you so much, Gina. Oh my goodness, what a blessing and a gift to be taken back to India right here. Hello, beloveds. My name is Reverend Elizabeth Rowley, Hogue, and I am the spiritual director and senior minister at the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living, located in Templeton, California. And we're very blessed to get to be here broadcasting to you live this morning from our condo in San Luis Obispo. And Gina Salah is in Seattle. Gina and BJ DiGirolamo are in Paso Robles, and Charlie's in Atascadero. And you all, wherever you are, I'm so grateful that you have tuned in today to hear this message. And the invitation is to relax into your body as I welcome you to KGOD, everyone's favorite station, broadcasting today's highest consciousness to you live from eternity, commercial free, with everyone's favorite DJ, God. Yay, God, the thing itself that knows what you love and leads you to it. A special shout out to our sponsors: love, peace, joy, harmony, abundance, wisdom, compassion, and bliss. When traveling, please be sure to check out our sister stations, KIM, KTRU, KLUV, and KONE. Today's broadcast is brought to you by the angels and the cosmic merry maids of the universe. Now, don't turn that dial. Your celestial song is coming up next. Warning, listening to this station for prolonged periods may lead to ecstatic joy, profound prosperity, sparkling light, overwhelming clarity, and the peace that passes human understanding. Listen at your own bliss. Hello, friends. Are you awake now? I sure am. Oh, it's so good to be here with you on this day, January 17th, 2021. The context for this month is Timeless Wisdom, Evolutionary Vision. And the talk title for today is Here and Now, one of my favorite topics, one of my most favorite topics ever. And so this month, we're exploring the ancient and sacred wisdom of the science of mind and what we've drawn upon, and begin to contemplate the trajectory of our movement and of our individual consciousness. So remembering that, yes, we stand on the shoulders of giants, and at the same time, we see to new horizons that haven't been before. And before we move into the rest of today's talk, I would like to circle back to a discussion that we had last week on doom scrolling, everyone's favorite topic, right? I just want to circle back to that because there's been more revealed to me about this. And, in the wake of the shocking events, and anytime there's an event that happens in the world, there is news about it. And so, as spiritual beings, as metaphysicians, the metaphysicians that we are, practitioners, licensed or unlicensed, right? We are called to witness and see enough of those headlines that will allow us to know what it is that we are called to pray for. And so we don't want to necessarily go down the rabbit hole searching for answers in social media, because the answers are not there. And so I know that all of us are becoming aware of the way in which we may have doom scrolled maybe once or twice, and bringing our focused attention back into the here and into the now, and allowing ourselves to see and recognize that, yes, the facts, there are facts, and then there is truth. And so we see the facts, and then we learn what it is we need to pray about. Yes. So the calling for that is to, in other words, continue along the path of prayer. So that's not to say don't feel your feelings. You definitely want to feel the feelings of what's happening in the world. Feel the feelings, but don't pitch a tent and stay in that valley of shadow, that valley of darkness, because the world needs us, right? The world needs our light. And as metaphysicians, we have our inner work to do, which is also revealed in the outer world. Yes. So the outer world can transform. So what happens when you're doom scrolling or constantly reading the news, or having the news channels like CNN playing in the background all day? They just are repeating the same news over and over and over again. And then that news, that hypervigilant state is creating, the science behind it is that it's actually enlarging the amygdala of your brain. And the amygdala is really the watchdog of your brain. So it is what creates feelings of anxiety or being on edge. And that part is needed for us when we are in direct danger. But when we are continuously listening, that becomes part of that subconscious. And so then, one small thing happens and we're so on edge that we have a complete meltdown, or end up being unable to cope with, someone cuts us off in traffic, or the dog comes into your home with a little dirt on its paws. And you're just like, ah! So let's just take a collective breath right here. And I want to reiterate that we are now tuning into KGOD. And so that's what you can imagine. I'm feeling it. I see it. I don't like it. But we are called to take it to a deeper level, my friends. We are called to stop admiring the problem. And that means stop talking about the problem and how bad it is, sharing words of dismay, or talking about the people that we don't like, and instead Go deep within ourselves. Come to the place within you where you know that God is. Be so rooted in the divine that we are seeking the clarity of mind and having the discipline to scan those headlines, and scanning those headlines for the purpose of knowing, what am I called to be in prayer for today? That is pulling upon the God within you and reaching into that place of higher consciousness that can expand and actually transform the world, right? That's what we're up to, my friends, to be so focused on our God, on the truth, that we can go within, access this inner realm, the kingdom of heaven within me, to ask the divine and holy presence, what is mine to do? What is mine to do? I don't like what I'm seeing out in the world. What shall I be in prayer for today? I am not and will not be afraid, for I know that I have God, and whoever has God lacks nothing. So we do this so that we can then say to ourselves that, yes, while I see things happening, I don't like it. I don't like it. It bothers me. It bothers me because I am a stand for what? That's what we need to become clear on. It bothers me because I am a stand for peace. I am a stand for justice. I am a stand that all humans be created equally, have enough water, food, shelter, clothing, love, and more. So the call for us, my friends, is to go deeper. Rather than talking about dismay, of course, you're going to see it and be alarmed, and then you're going to go deeper within. This bothers me because I am a stand for fill in the blank. And since I am a stand for fill in the blank, my prayer is the expression of whatever that fill in the blank is. And then it's like, oh, great Spirit of love, hear thou my prayer. And then you've actually shifted your focus into knowing with clarity and deep conviction what you want to see in the world, what you know the collective wants to see in the world. And it's if it's for the good of all, then it will come into the world regardless. So consider that we want to be committed to being a part of that tipping point in consciousness. I remember now that I have within me the potential of being that 100th monkey, of being that monkey, the last monkey that is needed to create the critical mass for the new paradigm in consciousness to be revealed, that new paradigm that we've all been praying for and knowing will soon emerge. Yes? Are you with me?
Oh, yeah.
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 Or are you too busy?
No.
I mean, you got other stuff to do, or, like I really have this other thing that's been, It's easy to just be angry. It's also important to be angry and to transmute that anger into something new, something that will be a benefit to the entire race. And it's easy. So being angry is kind of lacking in responsibility and accountability. So you ask yourself, what do I stand for? This is the question I've been asking in my spiritual practice. What am I a stand for? What am I a stand for? Because, we're experiencing these apocalyptical moments more frequently, aren't we? We're on the precipice of a huge shift in consciousness of the world, not the planet, but the world. So the world is like the mindsets and the belief systems and all of the people and all of the states of mind that have been created over the course of since the beginning of humanity. And so it's a shift in consciousness of the world view, right? And so the planet, of course, will definitely reap the rewards of a shift in consciousness of the world. However, the world is what the focus is on. So this is what it means to have a spiritual focus. This is not to bury our heads in the sand and pretend like nothing is happening. The call is to go deeper, right? As we all grow spiritually, gradually we learn to move through the 4 stages of the kingdoms of consciousness faster, because we are not bogged down in the old BS. We're not bogged down by the old belief systems. That's the BS I'm talking about. They're no longer hidden, right? Things are no longer hidden. And now we're in the middle of this shift, and we're seeing the effects of like white supremacy popping up everywhere. And I'm so grateful that Karen, who is a board member for our center, Karen Robert, thank you for facilitating this book study group, Me and White Supremacy, during Black History Month next year. And today is the Sunday before Monday, which is Martin Luther King Jr. Observed Day. So it's a day of really honoring that human being and all of the work that he did and how he brought us to where we are. So there's one homework assignment for you this week, which is definitely tomorrow. Make time to view the I Have a Dream speech. And even if you can watch a movie, maybe Selma or one of the other movies that is about Martin Luther King Jr. So we are called to be pioneers of the possible. Martin Luther King Jr. said, I have a dream. I have a dream. He was not experiencing that dream in the moment that it was happening. Remember that? He saw something though, and he knew that he could move toward that something and continue to see it and declare it to be, and people would follow that because it is magnificent, right? He was a pioneer of the possible. So we're called to focus on that which is emerging in the new world, the possibility of a great iteration of the next stage of our evolution, my friends. We want to be visionaries or mystics or artists. We're architects of the future. So join me. The invitation is to join me in being an individual who is holding fast to what we as humanity can become, to what we individually as a society, as a nation, and the world can become. Can I get an and so it is?
So it is.
Who's with me, right? Are you with me? I want to see some comments here in the comments. I don't see any comments happening. Are you with me, y'all? All right. And so the eternal now moment, I believe, is malleable. It's flexible. Yes, there are hard facts, and the old paradigm of thinking is that this is the way it is. And then there's the thought that, well, the way it is has to be the way it was, and it can never be changed because that's just the way it was and is and will be. Not true, my friends. And we're going to talk about this. Thank you, Travis. That's not true. Principle is not bound by precedent. So I'm going to dive more deeply into that in a few moments. So as we sit here in the midst of a double pandemic, right? We've got COVID-19, and then we've also got the abuse of force and underlying bigotry and racism we've seen in the world that we can't unsee. It's like we can't unsee this stuff, right? And as spiritual beings, we've got to go deep and ask ourselves these questions so that we can be in the experience of the emerging vision, the new paradigm. And so we have to remember, that everything is in flux. Things are fluxed up, as Michael Beckwith would say. It's fluxed up. And so in the middle of, it's like fluxing all over the place. So in the middle of that flux, things can get pretty gnarly. And so we need to be able to see what we're going toward. What are we moving toward, right? So that's the call. Now, there are 3 types of people. There's those who are stuck in the decadence and shock of destruction and stuck in the news and everything that happened. There's those who are totally clueless, like they don't know what's going on, and you may be watching it now and going, I wonder what she's talking about. And then there are those who are holding the evolutionary vision. the evolutionary vision. So which type among those three are you? That's the question I have for you. Which type are you now, and which type would you like to be? So all of you who are watching, I have a feeling you also are already one who is holding the evolutionary vision. You may not know what it is, but that's okay, because you're asking the question. By asking questions of yourself, what am I a stand for? Being a stand then for that which you know you are a stand for, and then praying about that as you begin to articulate this evolutionary vision that I'm speaking of. And as we speak of it, we begin to create it. Yes?
Oh, yeah.
So now we are contemplating the possibility of a great iteration of the next stage of our evolution, because we are visionaries, mystics, we're artists, we're architects of the future. So let us continue with our work along the path of being individuals who are holding fast to what we can become. Woohoo! Right? Sign me up, man. That one's done. I just threw that note over to Travis. All right, friends. So that's enough about doom scrolling. You get the idea. We're now in the present, asking ourselves the deeper questions, getting into prayer daily. Yes? Moving ourselves out of fear, because fear isn't creating what we want to see in the world. So the power is in the now. Now, who here spends a lot of time in their head? I know, I just hear crickets. Yeah. Overthinking, judging, analyzing, complaining, rehashing the self-righteousness of your frustrations with others. Do you talk to yourself and rehearse conversations while in the shower or driving? I felt like that was just an infomercial. If you do, you need to try this. If you do that, you must know that you're renting prime mental real estate out to others for free. You're giving away your mental space to the others, to situations and experiences that you don't even want to have an experience of. But by rehashing it, complaining about it, judging, talking to your friends and sharing and getting everyone riled up in that is creating more of that, right? And it's renting out space. So my friends, our space is valuable. My mental space, your mental space, the atmosphere of our thinking, all of it is so valuable for us and the world. And the world in this moment is in need of our creativity, of our creative expression, which is created by our thinking, right? What it does. Charlie talked about the first week, the thing itself, and then we had the way it works, and then what it does is this week, the third week of January. So what it does is there is love and there is law. So love points the way and law makes the way possible. And basically that's what it does. And so when we are judging, analyzing, overthinking, complaining and rehashing the past, we are actually blocking the creative flow of love. And so what we're called to do is actually kinking the hose. So we're called to unkink that hose, because when the hose is kinked, we're stopping that flow of good that Spirit wants to pour forth into our lives right now. Unkink the hose, my friends. Unkink it. We are metaphysicians and we are called to be the change we wish to see in the world. When you judge, you have no time to love. When you complain, you cannot see the good. When you analyze, you are stuck in the past. Watching CNN report the same news over and over again grows your brain's amygdala until it's so large that you're totally on edge. You're jumpy. What's going to happen next? Oh no. Are you a future tripper or a pasteurizer, or neither? Or do you know, let me rephrase that. Do you know anyone who is a future tripper or maybe a pasteurizer? Future trippers are anxious about what the future holds, and they work desperately to predict the future for themselves based on all of the events of the past. And then you've got to remember, though, principle is not bound by precedent. That means the truth, these spiritual laws that we're speaking of, are not bound by what happened yesterday, last month, 2 years ago, or even 5 minutes ago. Spiritual principle is not bound by precedent. That is the timeless wisdom for today. That means regardless of what happened, you are free to create brand new in any moment, right here, right now, right where you are, not based on the past. We have the power to create brand new, my friends. It's like Wonder Twin powers, activate. Let's do this. And so pasteurizers are hesitant to start. Like they're always talking about how they can't do the next thing because they're so stuck in the past experience. What happened yesterday? How could you? How could they? How could I? So afraid of repeating what happened that they have paralyzed themselves with analysis and cannot take that step forward. The step that is needed for the transformation of their lives that would be beyond their wildest imagination. So I loved a Bikram yoga instructor. What I heard them once share was that when you hesitate to get into a pose, you're stuck in the past. And then when you start getting into the next pose without waiting for that instruction to do so, you're in the future, like trying to jam ahead and get in front of everything. So a good question to ask ourselves is, where am I hesitating in my life and stuck in the past? And where in my life am I getting ahead of myself, hanging out in the future? So my Facebook tagline is madly in love with this moment now, again and again and again and again and again and again. I love that because all we have is this moment right now. This moment. What will you do with your one and precious, magnificent, beautiful, amazing life today, my friends? What will you do? Who will you be? How will you experience and express the love that you are in this world? So wherever you think you are or were, I know and claim for each of us right now that we are neither future tripping nor pasteurizing. Today, we can practice being present and in the moment, because in this moment is a portal. This here right now is the portal to the eternal now, which is the divine and Holy Spirit, that presence that is beckoning you, it's beckoning you. It's saying, I'm here. Be in the kingdom of heaven with me right now. And what a gift that is, right? So the distinction between past, present, and future, according to Albert Einstein, is only a stubborn and persistent illusion. Then there's talk of deep time, which is past, present, and future exist all at once. And then we've got the block universe theory, which states that if time exists simultaneously, then all we have is this moment now. So it's hard to kind of wrap your mind around that, but time existing simultaneously, right? We're in this moment now, and then there's past, present, future, past, present, future. If you take a step back out of past, present, future, you get yourself into the now, connected to the divine, right? Connected totally 100% to that divine and loving presence. Now, I love a story that was shared with me by Michael Beckwith. He had an opportunity to speak at a special forum at the United Nations, and he left the hall for the United Nations and got into the van when he noticed that he didn't have his cell phone. He didn't have his cell phone on him. And so, of course, he needed his cell phone, right? I mean, he's Michael Beckwith. So he told the driver and his wife, hey, I need to go back in and get my phone. And so he goes through the security gate and he's running down the hallway. And when the security guards see him, he starts walking real slow, real cool, like, hey, everything's cool here. He gets to the assembly hall and opens the door and sees there's another session already in there going on. And then he just walks in like he belongs there. Like, hey, how you doing? And then there's a woman up there speaking. They've already started the next session. And he knows his phone is right behind her. And he's thinking, I got to catch a plane, man. How am I going to get my phone? And then she says something totally profound and everybody starts clapping. And in that break of energy, he goes up on stage, grabs the phone and goes out the door. He's running down the hallway again and stops when he sees security, like, hey, how you doing? Everything's cool. And then he gets outside, jumps in the van, and it's like, woohoo, on to JFK Airport, he tells the driver. Well, they get about a mile away from JFK, and he looks at his itinerary and says, oh, we're actually supposed to be at LaGuardia Airport. Oh, no, we're supposed to be at LaGuardia Airport. We have to turn around. And the driver says, but you said JFK. And he said, I know, but we got to turn around. We might be able to make this flight. So the driver turns around and then he's driving under the speed limit. And Michael says, you're going too slow. That's the present, right? The driver says, you said JFK. That's the past. And he and his wife both say, we got to get to LaGuardia. That's the future. And so they kept bouncing back and forth between past, present, future, past, present, future. You're going too slow. You said JFK. We got to get to LaGuardia. You're going too slow. Present moment. You said JFK in the past. We got to get to LaGuardia in the future. And so every now and then, though, they would stop. Michael Beckwith and his wife at the time, Ricky, they'd stop and take a breath and feel that all was well. And it was like they stepped into the now. Everything was cool. No issues. Everything is fine. They're in the nowness of the moment. They get out of the car also in the nowness of the moment. Everything is good. They are so stoked. They approach the counter with their bags, and the guy says to them, you're at the wrong terminal. They said, what are you talking about? It says United Air. Yes, but operated by U.S. Airlines. That's another terminal. And so his friend said, well, can we walk? And the guy says, no, you got to take a cab. So they get in the cab and there they go again. And they get to the next terminal. They check in, they get through security, they get to the gate and find out the flight had been postponed by 1 hour. And he and Ricky walked around shaking hands, apologizing for stopping time. We're sorry. We're sorry we stopped time, and we're so sorry we did this. But the point of this story is that there are people who live in the past, and living in the past is an immature pride or a shame about what could possibly occur. And then there's people who live in the future who are doing so out of fear and ambition. And it's like this combination. It's ambition is ambi, which is like a person who is ambidextrous, but being overly ambitious is moving in the direction of your dream, but propelled by fear. So moving in that direction because you have this anxious need to get there, you know? And so being present is the field of your imagination, right? You can have embarrassment or vanity and so forth. And it can be an opening to the now. So the now is way different than the present. Do you see that, right? Yeah. Past, present, future. Right now, you're out of time. Not like you're out of time, my friend, but you're out. You stepped out of that mental construct of time, and you've created this eternal moment, and you stand in the eternal nowness of this moment and let it shine. Let your love light shine, my friends. Now is no time, no space, all here, all one. All one. So all of the qualities, all of the gifts, are all right here, right now, in this moment. You discover in this now that everything is working together for your good. Everything has been working together for your good all along. Sometimes we can't get to the now because we're shocked or seduced by the events of the past, or fearful and anxious about the future. But what we're called to do and be is trust. Trust in the eternal nowness of this moment, and you are free, truly free. And so we live in the realm of ever expanding good, and we're entering it right now. I know that for each one of us, we let the past, present, and future be a portal to the eternal now. This is pure spirit. This is what I'm here to experience. More of this, please. In the nowness of the moment, we are receptive to divine guidance, spontaneous goodness, compelling right action. Oh, all the things that God is. And now when we do our prayer work, we remember that we are called to remember and believe that in the mind of God, it is already happening now. So as we walk in awareness and faith, we are prompted then to do things we may have not been prompted to do before, right? So I remember there was a practitioner 2 class I once taught where a woman's soul was calling her to work in movies. She wanted to do some work in movies, on movie sets, right? And she began to do the necessary prayer work in her consciousness that would allow her to get there. And she was praying and treating to be divinely employed and utilizing her gifts. And she really wanted this. She really had a deep desire. It was a soul level calling. You know how that feels, right? And so she was on her way to work one day and she saw this sign for an antique sale and she felt compelled to go to it. She didn't really have time to go and she didn't have the money to buy anything, but something was compelling her to go. So she followed the internal guidance and went to it. And there was a woman there who she began to speak with, and they really hit it off. And it turned out that this was the woman that she had been trying to reach for her dream job. The woman said, well, why don't you come to my office and we can talk some more? Anyway, she met with her friend and then started working her dream job shortly thereafter. That's being in the now. Get out of your head and into the now. Get out of the over analysis and planning and what you got to do next and be here now. This is where the power is. Oh, it's good. And so I want to move into moments of awareness and remind us all to continue to take time to be in those moments of awe, you know, the moments that take your breath away, those moments where you just go, oh, wow. Thank you, God. That is a spiritual expression and it's magnificent and magical, you know, like seeing sunsets or sunrises or getting to be at the beach with the ocean. You're at the beach and you see the waves crashing and all of the things that BJ said in her opening prayer. So amazing. Those are moments of awe. And she speaks those moments of awe at the beginning of the prayer to calibrate herself with those moments of awe, right? And so if you can imagine your moments of awe more often, you can be in that space because as we remember it, we relive it, we feel it, we experience it again. And you're not doing it like, oh, I want to escape from reality and I need to get there now and feel like I felt that time. Not like that. It's getting yourself in tune with that childlike wonder and awe, the amazement at what you see all around you. Stay with that. Spend time with that. Make time for that. Everything else can wait. So Ernest Holmes in The Science of Mind textbook, page 41, paragraph 3, observed, we look too far away for reality. We look too far away for reality. And that's reality with a capital R. So we look too far away for it. It's right here in this moment now. It's right here in this Facebook Live. Wow. It's right here. It's in the eyes of your pet. It's in the delicious coffee that you had or are about to have. It's in that book or movie that you're about to go back to or start. It's in all of this. See it for what it is, my friends, this divine and magical mystery tour that we are on. This is our time. We've been birthed into existence for this time, for such a time as this, in this moment now, to be all that we came here to be, to shine and radiate and experience a life that we truly love. So I love what the Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore observed. He said that it is the childlike mind that finds the kingdom, because the childlike mind is in awe of the seeming small, ordinary things. And so, my friends, remember, a new light is coming into the world. We are on the borderland of a new experience. The veil between spirit and matter is very thin. We are creating a new normal. That new light that I speak of is our willingness to expand our consciousness, to realize that, yes, we are the creators of our reality. We are creating something magnificent that benefits all. So be it. So, friends, I want to thank you for tuning in to KGOD, all spirit, all the time, commercial free. Keep tuning in to KGOD, and you will learn to accentuate the positive and let go of the negative, which leads to a successful, optimistic, happy, and fulfilled life. Today's broadcast was brought to you by the angels and the cosmic merry maids of the universe. We hope you enjoyed listening to your celestial song of love, peace, joy, harmony, abundance, wisdom, compassion, and bliss. Let's pray. And so, turning our attention inward in this moment, I know that this entire talk has been a prayer, and it's like, hear thou my prayer, spirit. We are standing in the awe of this moment. As we stand in the awe of this moment, we feel and experience and know that we are living in the eternal now. And in this eternal now, all of the illusions fall away, they dissipate. The illusion of time itself, of past, present, and future, all of that just dissipates down. And so what's left is a feeling of being totally, directly connected. And in that direct connection, I know that I'm available for the downloads of spirit. I know that I'm available. I am listening. I'm listening to what my next step is. And as I become receptive to my source, it begins to be the director in my life. And it is the best director ever. Oh, what a beautiful, beautiful life it is when we can let our egos take the back seat and let divine spirit do the driving. And so I know that each one of us allows that to be so, and many of us already allowing it to be so, allow it to guide the way. We allow it to guide the way. We feel the divine urge to pick up the phone or to go somewhere or to see someone or to do something or read a certain book or listening to a certain something, feeling that divine urge, and we do it. And it leads us to our next great iteration of the evolution of our consciousness, individually and collectively. And I am grateful as I release this word, knowing it is so, and so it is.
Here and now, because the one I love lives inside of you. I lean as as close to you as I can, because the one I love lives inside of you. I lean as close to you as I can. Feel free to sing with me, as close to life, as close into this moment even, because the one I love lives inside of you. I lean as close to you as I can, because the one I love lives inside of you, lives inside of now. I lean as close to you as I can. And a message from the universe. I love you, 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 just as you are. I love you, 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 just as you are. Sing it to each other. I love you, 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 I love you. Who is loving when we love? I love you, I love you, I love you, you know I do. I love you, just as you are. To each other and yourself. I love you, 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 I love you. Who is singing when we sing? I love you, 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 just as you are, here and now. Why, it's so simple, because the one I love lives inside of you. I lean as close to you as I can. Lives inside of me, because the one I love lives inside of me. I lean as close to you and me as I can. Here and now, here and now, here and now, beloveds.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. What a beautiful prayer, a beautiful chant. You can pull out your mala and just be like, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you,
Yes.
I love you, just as you are.
Mm.
Right?
Yeah.
Starting the day, ending the day.
Brushing your
Oh,
teeth. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, yes.
yes. Thank you, Gina. I'm so grateful that you joined us today. What a beautiful gift. We're so blessed.
So my pleasure. Thank you for a beautiful talk and all of you.
Thank you. Okay, friends, it's now time for our offering affirmation, which will be up on the screen here. And you can donate. There's a donate button on Facebook that should come up. And if you're not seeing it, then you can always donate through PayPal at paypal.me/CCCSL love. And here we go. Please repeat after me. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift.
From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift.
I send it forth to heal and bless and
I
prosper.
send it forth to heal and bless and prosper.
It is evidence of my faith and my belief.
It is evidence of my faith and my belief.
It does great work in the world.
It does great work in the world.
And returns to me multiplied abundantly.
And it returns to me multiplied abundantly.
And so it is.
So it is.
Okay, friends, won't you know with me that you are never alone, that God is where you are right now and always, and all that you ever need do is turn within, and it is here you will find you are guided, sustained, directed, and inspired by a source that knows only good. Joyously, let us make use of these gifts in all that we think, in all that we say, and in all that we do. Please repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my pocketbook.
Life is in my pocketbook.
Life is in my
Life is
relationships.
in my relationships.
Life is everywhere.
Life is everywhere.
I think it. I feel it. I believe it. I express it. I accept it. Just the way that it is.
Just the way that it is.
And just the way that it is not.
And just the way that it is not.
Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
And I love you. I love you.
I love you. I love you.
Woo! Just
I
as you
love
are.
you, I love you.
Yeah, that was awesome. I love that. I love you. I love you. I love you. And so we're going to all hook up over at Zoom right after this. And Gina is going to join us for a little bit. So let's all welcome her to the debut. Was fantastic. Thank you so much, Gina. So we're going to let you take us out with a little bit more of I love you.
I love you, 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 I love you just as you are. I love you, 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 I love you just as you are. Te amo, te amo, te amo, te amo, te amo, te amo, te amo como tú eres. I love you, 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 I love you just as you are, yeah. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you just as you are. Je t'aime, je t'aime, je t'aime, je t'aime, je t'aime, je t'aime tel que tu es. I love you, 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 I love you just as you are, yeah. And the vibrations continue. Let it keep ringing in your mind, in your heart, to all. I love you, 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 I love you just as you are.
It's just us. That was beautiful. Great, great, great. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much. Sorry, a little rocky start there.